opposite.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes? Good evening, today is Wednesday, August 11th, 2021. Regular meeting of the Oakland Mayor and Council. Roll call.
Mayor Schrader.
Here.
Councilman Bialy.
Here.
Councilman Kamala.
Here.
Councilman Pinicelli.
Here.
Councilman Slasinski.
Here.
Councilman Salome absent. Councilman Van App.
Here.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Please stand to salute the flag and to remain standing for a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was? Be seated. I heard things before.
I knew I should have brought that up.
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law, duly announced, advertised, and posted in the municipal building. The meeting will adjourn at 10 p.m. unless a majority of the council members present vote to extend the time. And my report for this evening. We have some new businesses, as I announced last time. Congratulations, we have City MD is now officially open as of July 26th. And unfortunately, I've heard some people have needed their services, the urgent care, and they said it's very lovely. If you've never been there, I took a tour inside. You'd never know it was the old Luca restaurant. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. But I heard the doctors are wonderful. They're very cooperative, very pleasant. So we're very lucky to have them. Welcome to Oakland. And on Saturday, with Councilman Bialy and Councilman Slasinski, we welcomed Harvest and Ale Restaurant. That's the old, we always still call it the Valley Pub or the Valley Stables on 202 North. They're open, and as I was coming here tonight, parking lot was packed. So good luck to them, and congratulations to Harvest and Ale. It's supposed to be food fresh, farm fresh, was it? Farm fresh food to the table. That's what they're going for. Last week I attended the Eagle Scout ceremony, August 1st. Congratulations to Matthew Highland, Michael Highland, and Zachary Vicenzo. And another wonderful ceremony at the Elks, and as one person said, maybe it was Assemblyman Orth, about how the Boy Scouts are always prepared. The ceremony was outside on a Sunday afternoon under a gigantic tent, and all of a sudden the rains came and it was pouring, and we stayed nice and dry because the Boy Scouts were prepared. Last week, Thursday, August 5th, right here at the Senior Center, Associated Appraisal Group, Inc. is the company that was hired by the borough to do the reassessment in Oakland. And they spoke to a packed audience right here at the Senior Center about reassessment in Oakland. And they had a great PowerPoint presentation, a full afternoon of questions and answers. I think they answered everybody's questions. There were a lot of questions. And the most important thing is, the question was, why reassessment? We are audited by Borough County. It has been determined that the current assessments in Oakland are no longer uniform and representative of the 100% true value market value. Reassessment purpose is to fairly distribute the necessary tax burden among all property owners based upon the true value of the property. Remember, this is the law, and we were ordered to do the reassessment by Bergen County. If you have any questions, you could go to the Associated Appraisal Group's website. I'm going to say it slowly, www.njaag.com. That's www.njaag.com, and you can ask any questions you have about the reassessment. A lot of questions pertain to, which is a very good question, is everybody knows the market is up, it's way up. How fair is it to do the reassessment this year? And the group said it's not just this year, they come back like over the next 2 years, and they'll keep coming back and get an average, so it will be fair. The other important thing to note, and this is so important, if you get a notice on your door that they came and you weren't home, and you think that by them not coming into your house, that, they'll just assess what I have, not true. If they cannot get into your house, what they're going to do, a red flag is going to go up, and they're going to assume either you're hiding something, or you did a lot of improvements, and they will guesstimate exactly what kind of improvements that you did. So it is in your best interest to make arrangements to allow them in.
Well, Mayor, I guess if I could, I guess what they might do, the assessment company might do, is look at the record for the previous
No.
assessment and
No.
compare, no?
Now,
No, I mean for improvements.
they said that. They said, it is your best interest to let them in.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm saying if they don't, they might just,
They're going to assume.
right.
Everybody's aware, there is an increase in the numbers in the virus. So, testing has resumed right here at the senior center parking lot. Very simple. You drive up, they come to your car, they test, it's free. If you think you've been exposed or you need a testing, you can come to the senior center. It's Monday, 12/6, Richard?
Mhm.
12 to 6, yes.
12/6 Wednesday,
Same thing.
same thing, and Saturday. So testing has resumed because it's needed.
And Mayor, just I might add, make sure you, if you have medical insurance, you bring both cards with you and some form of identification such as a driver's license, because they will ask for it.
But if you don't have it,
No,
they still will.
that's right.
It's
Yep.
still free testing.
Correct.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to open to the public.
So moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No? You don't want to speak?
Ryan?
I can say something quick.
Oh, we don't have.
Why pass it up? Why pass up the opportunity?
No, really, very fast. Ryan Schwartfager, 58 Andrew Avenue, beautiful borough of Oakland, New Jersey. Two questions. One is, does the borough have any plans or are working on any plans for the 20th anniversary of September 11th coming up? And the other question I have is from some members of the TV committee. They wanted to have some type of idea, how much longer the council meetings are going to be in the senior center, if they're going to be going back and forth, going over back to the council chambers, kind of what's the plan on that? And that's it. Thank you.
As far as the senior center, we don't answer questions, but depending on what happens, everything is depending on what happens with the numbers. Somebody from town who, she was so sure everything was okay, she wasn't going to get vaccinated, called me this week. She's home, very sick with a very high temperature. She got the virus, so let's see what happens.
It's extremely dangerous for those who have not gotten vaccinated because of the Delta variant.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
So with that, is there a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
As far as the, I will get answers from the Public Events Committee. Approval of the minutes, July 28th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Any additions, corrections? If none, roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Abstain, was at the meeting.
Councilman Pimentel.
Yes.
Councilman Slizinski.
Abstain, not here.
Councilman Van App.
Yes.
Executive minutes from the Executive Committee of July 28th, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
If there's going to be any changes, it must be done during executive session. Are there going to be any modifications? If not, roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
I abstain, I was not present.
Councilman Pimentel.
Yes.
Councilman Slizinski.
Abstain, not present.
Councilman Van App.
Yes.
Appointments, we have someone who would like to be on the green team, Jennifer Mason. It's my appointment, so Jennifer, thank you for wanting to be on the green team. We look forward to having you work with us. We have raffle licenses. The first one, Sports Association of Oakland, RL 1407 for October 2nd, 2021 at the Oakland Recreation Complex. 50% of the cash proceeds to support 12U 2022 Oakland Braves travel baseball team equipment and tournament fees.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Raffle license 1408, Knights of Columbus, raffle 12/17/21. For charitable community affairs, again, it is 50% of the cash proceeds.
So moved.
Second.
I'm going to, roll call on that because I think some of you might want
Yeah, I'm a
to
member,
abstain.
so I have to abstain.
Councilman Bialy,
Abstain.
Councilman Kamala,
Yes.
Councilman Piantelli,
Abstain.
Councilman Slizinski,
Yes.
Councilman Van App.
Abstain.
Isn't it votes? Looks like
Yeah.
we need a vote.
No, that's fine.
That's fine?
Yeah,
Okay.
You have the majority.
Yeah, well, that's why I knew they'd
Yes.
wanna do that. Okay, the next one is to, this is a request from the Oakland Franklin Rotary Club. They're asking for a sign at Bush Plaza to promote the car show to be held on September 26, 2021. It's to promote a community service event. The money from the proceeds benefit the Mission of Honor, a veteran support group. We are using the same sign as in prior years, and, their motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Flag burning waiver, it is, the next one, is to approve a request by the American Legion to waive fire permit fee for flag burning ceremony. And I was told them I've never been to one, I'd like to attend, so I hope they'll let us know. Is there a motion to approve the waiver of the fee?
So moved.
Second.
We better do a roll call.
Councilman Bialy,
Abstain.
Councilman Kamala,
Yes.
Councilman Piantelli,
Abstain.
Councilman Slizinski,
Yes.
Councilman Van App.
Yes.
And the reason we abstain is because we're members of the American Legion.
Has anybody ever attended a
Yes.
flag burning of the flag?
In Oakland, we used to do it at the Elks on June 14th, Flag Day.
Flag Day, yeah.
Growing up as a Boy Scout, that participated in many, and the first one I ever attended was such a significant moment in my life. To this day, one of the members gave me a grommet from the flag that we retired. I'm getting chills just telling the
wow,
story,
let me see.
and I still keep it
Wow.
on my keychain to this day.
Wow.
That's how significant it was
And what-
participating in
you know
one.
what? I'm gonna ask this, it's a silly question maybe, but what do they do with the ashes from the burning of the flag?
So one of the
Bury
things
them?
that the tradition in our troop was, we had a capsule, so we would add the ashes every time we did a flag retirement with the Legion or anybody, the Elks. We would take that same container and take ashes from that fire to perpetuate forever that retirement.
Wow.
I think once you burn it, you're allowed to bury it, yeah. Once you
So
burn
now we
it,
have
yeah.
resolutions. First one is resolution 21-265. It's to authorize the refund of recreation fees to the Kinger family, 9 Ponds Way, $265 for rec summer camp. 21-266 is to authorize a refund of veteran deduction to Edward Lawn, 19 Whittier Lane, $750, and, to Mr. Edward Lawn, thank you for your service. 21-267 has been tabled. 21-268, authorize accrued time payout for, Michael McMahon, I couldn't remember his first name, Michael McMahon, it's M. McMahon, for accumulated absences for sick days, vacation days, personal days, compensatory time, and other absent time, and the accumulated amount of $47,748.48, and good luck in your retirement. And 21-269, authorize refund of escrow fees, 59 Cherokee Trail, to Kim Mayer, in the amount of $76. Is there a motion is there any you wish to pull out? If not, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy,
Yes.
Councilman Kamala,
Yes.
Councilman Piantelli,
Yes.
Councilman Slizinski,
Yes.
Councilman Van App.
Yes.
We have, introduction of 2 ordinances. The first one is ordinance 21 Code 850, affordable housing overlay zone. We're still doing that.
That is correct. This is an ordinance that you previously adopted. We had it reviewed for consistency with the settlement agreement and had discussions with the court-appointed master. The ordinance permitted residential above commercial as a conditional use. We changed it to a permitted use, and we changed the densities to match what was approved in the settlement agreement. So this is a reintroduction of the CBD 1 and 2 overlay zone. And this will also repeal the previous ordinance that was adopted about a month and a half.
So even though we tabled resolution 21-267,
This,
affordable housing.
this we
plan-
still need to introduce.
Okay. All right, so motion to introduce.
So moved?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Deanna.
Yes.
Councilman Kamala.
Yes.
Councilman Pimentel.
Yes.
Councilman Sissinski.
Yes.
Councilman Van Act.
Yes.
Hearing date.
This will have to go to September 22nd because that's the appointment.
21 Code 851 is to amend the fee ordinance tax lien redemption calculations and duplicate tax sale certificates. And this will have to do with if, you lose your tax sale certificate?
What happened was, Mayor, and I believe Mr. Coons discussed this, I guess, 2 meetings ago.
Right.
We discussed it at work session. We keep getting requests for certificates. We wanted to maximize the amount of fees that we can get. And we also made one additional change to the ordinance, which was also for duplicate tax bills. So that's what this ordinance does. It increases the fees for those services if there are requests for duplicate tax bills or there's a request for.
Right, it's not a tax bill, it's a tax sale
A
certificate.
tax sale certificate and I'm sorry for misspeaking there because everybody will get upset.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, and the tax lien certificate redemption request.
I have a couple of questions. Now the time
You
to
want
ask.
to do the motion first?
We can do a motion to introduce, then we could,
Okay, motion to introduce.
So moved?
Second.
Questions?
Questions, couple questions. If I remember correctly, Richard, I believe they do get a couple without any charge, 1 or 2 without any charge, and not till the 3rd time.
Right,
What-
so if you're entitled to redeem the tax lien certificate, you can get 2 redemption calculations at no cost. Anything more than that, where you're just trying to get updates on a regular basis, after a certain amount of time, there's a charge, there would be a charge.
So these requests, they come from residents or from realtors?
Some lien holders, the occasional resident, some banks.
Why would a resident request it?
maybe I could answer that, Rich. What it is that a lot of these lien certificates are owned by entities, and they are looking at it as to whether they want to redeem this certificate or not at any certain period of time. So what this does is you're allowed to get 2 redemption calculations. This is work that the tax collector has to do, and says to redeem this lien, this is what you need. There may be a sale out there may be somebody contemplating sale, and they'll need to know what that cost is. You get 2 in a calendar year without charge. If you make more than 2 in a calendar year, there's a $50 fee, because these calculations are not easy. You have to look at the certificate, you have to determine the interest factor, you have to determine the time passed, you have to determine if premiums were paid. So we were not charging for that 3rd request, and all the services were free. It is not unreasonable to provide for this because you already get those 2. The other part of this ordinance is that if a tax sale certificate is lost or destroyed and there's a duplicate requested, there will be a fee of $100 charge. There will be a fee of $100 to be charged. And that's something that's typical, because if you lost your certificate, it is something that should be recorded to protect your right. The tax collector now has to create another certificate.
So most of these requests come from entities that have the tax lien.
Some that do, and then there are also others that.
I'm just wondering why a resident, if they weren't going to sell it, would keep asking for.
Can't answer the question, but I've seen where monthly people have requested what is owed on this,
I'm just, I don't want to place an undue burden on a resident that they don't stand to make any money off of it if it's theirs. But I understand the reason why. If it's an entity, you got to cut down on that. Okay, thank you.
Excuse me, whose phone is that keeps chirping?
Not mine.
Is it my phone?
You know, no, what, no, it could have been somebody, you know, got an email too.
Could be could be
The iPads.
The iPad, mine's off, so.
Okay. All right, any other questions? If not, roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Kamara.
Yes.
Councilman Pinnatelli.
Yes?
Councilman Sosnitsky.
Yes.
Councilman Van Act.
Yes.
And the hearing is?
September 1st.
Okay, now we're on work session items. So, Councilman Benek, is this yours? A great, memorandum from Steve Lyden on breweries.
Okay.
You wanna start the discussion?
I feel like we've discussed this a lot,
Yes,
as I
we
really
have.
have much more to say. We do have the chart, Mayor Schrager requested attached now, that's new since the last meeting. Besides that, nothing else has really changed, other than the pages that weren't double-sided are now scanned in. I know that was missing from a prior agenda, and plenary distilleries as well, which is just, as you can see right on the top, that's something that was not in the last one, but that is just to sell and distribute beverages to licensed wholesalers and retailers. It's essentially just a warehouse that can process things and then sell them to, Bottle King, anywhere.
So, questions? We've gone through this, how many meetings already?
I think I've been working on this since last year.
Yes, and we've discussed this at many, many meetings. And we have a draft, ordinance of the different types of breweries, if interested. We have a chart on type of brewery.
And distillery. We are not moving forward with the wineries, which is in the chart, because of the 3-acre requirement, and that's it.
So.
And it's in
question.
specific zones that we identified, that we've worked through. I mean, it's.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. I think Ms. Benek has certainly done a lot of work on this, and I think we've heard months of testimony with this initiative, and I'd like to have it added on the next meeting's agenda for introduction.
Anybody want to add to that?
Thank you,
This
Council
is the
President.
shortest discussion we've had on breweries. Thank you, Councilman Benek, for this chart. Okay, so Lisa, goes on the agenda next meeting, thank you. All right, the next item, shade tree ordinance, I was told it's tabled.
I would ask that to be carried to the next meeting.
Yes,
Second.
so it's gonna be carried to September 1st.
Does they need a vote, Linda?
No, we just removed it from the agenda,
Okay.
because it's a work session. The next item is the bond ordinance for road and storm sewer improvements.
Right, Mayor, I can take that one. So this is really kind of a finalization of the 2021 capital plan that we discussed earlier this year. As you may recall, we were doing the capital ordinances when there was still discussion ongoing about the American Rescue Plan, federal funding for municipalities, and we were waiting on some clarifications regarding what the requirements may be, what we could use the money for, what we couldn't use it for. We received some of that clarification that we needed. So I think we're ready at this point to move ahead with the ordinance that normally would have been done back in May and June. And this one would specifically cover funding for next year's road program and for storm sewer improvements. And I just want to point out, and you have a memo in the packet from David, the ARP money can be used for several different things. Capital projects mainly, I think, for municipalities, water, sewer, and the like, and other types of capital projects, as long as they're on a pay-as-you-go basis, right, where you're not incurring debt with that, and you can use the money that, kind of a little intricate, but the borough, all municipalities, can calculate their revenue loss due to the pandemic and apply that money towards these pay-as-you-go capital items like road. So in discussions with the Finance Committee, we really thought that the best way we could maximize the usefulness of that funding is to avoid future debt by taking a road program that we normally are bonding for and defraying some of that bonding by fully funding it, all right? One of the things that we were waiting on was clarification on what strings would be attached to this money. And there was some guidance documents sent out by the Office of the State Controller that says, well, all of the federal requirements are normally going to apply to this. So it would behoove us actually to hold off, not do it this year. We have an opportunity to use the money in any of the subsequent, I think, 3 or 4 budget cycles. And the funds have to be fully expended by 2026. So we would want to use as much of that federal money at one shot as possible due to all the federal requirements for that. So this is a traditional bond ordinance for roads like we have typically done. The ARP money would come at a future point in time in a separate capital ordinance and a separate discussion.
So it'll be on the next meeting.
The council wants to proceed, we would have this on for introduction at the next meeting.
This is for 1.5 million?
It's
two.
1.64 in total authorized funding, or so for roads and storm sewer improvement.
Correct, right.
The 1.5 is the amount of debt that would be authorized.
Correct.
So, anybody object to it?
It's federal money, let's take it.
Well, this isn't the federal money, this is our own money.
No, I understand.
But,
Capital.
you know, I hope everybody understands what the current thinking is with the use of the ARP money. You know, we're basically going to see over time what our revenue loss is, apply that money. If our allotment is in excess of that revenue loss, we would look at funding other projects, probably on the water side, because that's a main driver, a main priority in the federal legislation for it.
So this money is gonna be subsidized by the ARC money?
Under this ordinance, no, but at a future point in time, you will see funding come through that will utilize that ARP money.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Right. This is something we did discuss in our finance committee.
Okay, good.
Our next one is the Gypsy Moth
Oh,
survey.
and Mayor, if I can, just one moment. When we talk about, because it is a little bit of a nuance, but I think it's important that you understand it. When we talk about the amount of revenue loss, there is a formula set out by the federal government as to how you calculate that. So we basically take the prior year, in this case, 2019, trended up by 4.1%. Don't ask us why they use a cost inflation factor of 4.1%, but that's in the formula. We looked at what we actually collected in non-tax revenue in 2020, and the difference there is what we can take as a revenue loss, right? And we repeat that cycle year after year for the next several years.
Okay, so now you're gonna describe and discuss the Gypsy Moth survey?
Sure, we were contacted by the Department of Agriculture. They let us know that they have some, don't know how, but they determined that there's defoliation being caused by gypsy moth caterpillars in our municipality. And they want to know if we want the department to conduct what they call egg mass surveys, which helps them determine the extent of the problem. That's at no cost to the borough. And if we authorize that, and they do that, and they find that there's an infestation, then they work to basically, apply a what they call a biological insecticide.
They spray.
They spray.
In other words, yes, that's the
Yes.
bottom line. You know, I was pregnant with my oldest son, I'm not gonna tell you how old he is now, but I was pregnant with him when there was this big controversy about spraying for gypsy moth, and I'm right next to the county property, the board is open in Wawa. And so everybody says, oh, you're pregnant, you better leave town while they spray. So I was all packed and ready to go to my in-laws who live in New York and during the spraying, and the day before I leave, all of a sudden, they're spraying the county property.
But it's not
So
an
it didn't matter.
it's not an insecticide or herbicide, it's a biological.
Back then, I'm not gonna
Oh,
tell you how old he is.
Right,
But,
right, now it's a biological, back then I
Right, that
don't
was different.
think it was.
So.
Yeah, I think they use, no, never mind.
And I remember that, was late 70s, early 80s,
I'm not talking
right?
about that. So, that's my oldest son, my oldest, not my youngest. So anyway, so what is everybody gonna do about this? Do you think we should allow them to survey?
Well, I think we should certainly let them survey. I mean, if you remember going back 12 years ago, 10 or 12 years ago, the entire side of the Rampart Mountains got wiped out and it was completely defoliated. And obviously this cycle, I did reach out to Ed Clark from the Shade Tree Commission and kind of ran this past him, and he was in complete support of having him come in and do the survey and really understand, what kind of damage we're looking at.
I mean, we're concerned about our canopy, and that would certainly destroy our canopy, or a
absolutely.
big portion of our.
Anybody
I concur.
against the survey?
No, I'm for it. I think they should come in. I think we should
All
allow
right,
them in
so
and find out
Michael, I
what
guess
we
that's
are.
your job.
We'll
Go out and say,
we'll
we
respond.
do want the survey.
Yeah, there's just a form that we fill out, sign, send in, but, the due date was coming up, it's, next
And the mayor
Monday,
has to
so.
sign that, right?
Well, I better sign for it, well, yes. Right,
Uh,
sign it?
Doesn't say that the mayor has to sign
No,
it.
you can sign it.
Right, yeah, we'll take care of it tomorrow.
This would sign it. Our handwriting is very similar. Okay, new business, anybody have new business?
I do.
Yes.
So I want to bring something up related to collection bins. Collection bins. So right now, our ordinance only allows for collection bins to be on borough property, but there are nonprofits in town. The flag collection we were just talking about, there's a bin to collect those types of things and clothing or whatever items. So I think I would like to have a little discussion about allowing for organizations like the Legion or the Elks to have bins wherever that would be properly located, and we would work out those details, but to have that conversation to expand it to those types of organizations.
I guess it was in 2009, the governing body then, I guess, was fielding a lot of complaints from bins that were located in the downtown with a lot of garbage around them and clothing left outside and things like that. And they just decided, we're just going to restrict them to borough property for right now. So, but here, fast forward, it's 12 years later, we want to take another look at it to see if there's a way to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're hard pressed. Or a lot of businesses are hard pressed, obviously, because of COVID. Even the nonprofits are very hard pressed. If they don't rent the halls out, how do they pay their electric, their gas, their garbage, their insurance? So,
and they're all pillars of our community.
They don't get money for the bins?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, you do?
Sure they do.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Mhm.
Didn't
Yeah,
know
well, the
that.
borough gets money for
Yeah, we'll
them.
get some money.
No, the borough,
The borough gets money for that.
organization.
Well, same as the borough gets money for that.
Oh, I
Yeah,
know that.
everybody does.
I
Yeah.
had no idea.
And it's better to spread it around the town, rather than have it, I always notice the one up in Darlington Avenue and Rampo Valley Road at the church there. And it's always, there's like 4 of them, and there's always boxes and bags wrapped around it, and it's overloaded all the time, probably because there's not enough of them. So the more we have, the better it is for the sight of those bins looking kind of nice instead of looking a
So
mess.
then maybe we have to look at the ordinance and bring up the, come up with a plan.
Yes.
So I'd like to do that and see how everybody feels about it, but I'd like to move forward on that. I don't know if that's something that goes to administration committee or where we take it from here.
Probably administration.
Thank you.
All right, old
I
business, will
do.
you bring up,
My whole business.
I want you to bring up about the meeting today? Or
Okay.
unless Pat wants to.
Pat, you can
Oh,
take
yeah,
that
the
one.
ad hoc committee,
Yeah.
yeah. Again, we met, the marijuana or cannabis ad hoc committee met again today. And we had our chief of police and traffic officer look at the different zones that we thought would be appropriate. We haven't made any decisions yet, but let me say this, and I said it at today's meeting. We've really worked really hard at this. This has not been and will not be a knee-jerk reaction to state legislation. We really are concerned about how it's going to affect the borough of Oakland. And it's not just for 6 months or a year. This is for the future. So it's an important decision. Some members have written away to other states to see what they have done. We've gotten some water use figures. It really has helped us. It really has helped the committee to make our recommendations. Now, we can't make any recommendations until after the 21st of August, provided that the State Cannabis Commission passes rules and regulations, because we don't want to pass an ordinance that's going to be in contradiction to the rules and regulations of the state, or have the state impose something on us because we did pass the ordinance. So we do need to wait for the state to come up with their rules and regulations. The committee has worked very hard. I mean, we have different opinions. We're not all one-sided. We have different opinions. We do research. We ask questions. We get information. We bring it back to the council. And we're going to still meet because we have, like I said, we have to wait for after August 21st, provided that the state does come up with their rules and regulations. Richard, what did you ask Steve Lyden to do today?
We're gonna start working on basically an outline,
Yeah.
For an ordinance of where it may be appropriate in terms of zoning and conditions for licenses, number of licenses, things of that nature. To start working on, whatever the final set of recommendations will be to the governing body.
I have to say, Steve Lyden has been an excellent member of this committee. He has given us so much information.
I think everybody has, brought forward ideas, and I think,
And you have now, you contact the Diane, and possibly take a tour.
Yes,
It's not that far, Maplewood's not that far.
Councilman Van Eyck and I are gonna go Friday, right?
Yep,
Oh,
we're,
good.
yep, we're
Excellent.
doing all our homework.
Oh, good.
We are, we're really.
Excellent.
So
Indeed.
I want the public just to feel comfortable, I don't feel comfortable, but confident that we really did our due diligence with this. And when we do come up with a recommendation, it's gonna be because of months and months and months of research. That's it,
And
man.
we are gathering a lot of research.
Yes.
All right, Councilman,
Other old business, unless somebody else has some.
anybody else?
Okay. So one of the things I keep bringing up for quite a while now is the cleaning up the council chambers, the court, where we have all the pictures of the mayors and all that history. It just looks very poor. The pictures are falling out of the frames in some of them. They're crooked. The image of even the whole borough council altogether is an old picture that we have back there. We're missing 2 former mayors whose pictures are not up there.
They decided they didn't want it,
refused.
yeah. The 2 mayors decided they didn't want it.
They didn't want the picture up.
We have that in writing.
No, but,
We'll let you talk to them.
well, if they won't pose for the picture, how are we gonna get it?
And they said not to put it up.
Right. They didn't even take the picture.
I didn't hear that.
I know both of them. I know both of them personally. They don't want it.
He did send us a digital photo.
Who did?
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
We want you to print it.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's why I'm bringing it up tonight. I heard that's what I heard.
Well, I guess he changed his mind.
It's the other mayor that doesn't want his picture.
Well, at least the one I think that would be nice.
Yes, I agree.
There's that whole area just to get cleaned up. I mean, do I have to go in there and do it, or?
That we deal with the shadow.
Well, then we can blame you for something.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
All right,
All right,
that's thank you.
Another thing I want to bring up is the signs at Bush Plaza. Again, we have the LED sign. So Rotaries tonight, absolutely for now, this transition period, yes. Let's put them on the LED sign. I don't know why we're still putting banners and whatnot at Bush Plaza. That Bush Plaza needs to be cleaned up. A clock, something pretty, something nice. We could be doing something with that land instead of just hanging banners. And now that we have the LED sign, community organizations, people want to do that. I've said this at prior meetings. We have some type of a template that you could use, and we could put it on the LED sign. That's in the center of town. It's the reason we got the LED sign, and that's where this type of advertising should be.
Speaking of the LED sign, what's going on with the electric box?
The electric box? Oh, John and I met, John, myself, Rich, and Anthony met out there to discuss the stonework that's gonna be built around the sign. And we just have to leave room to access the panels on each side of the sign.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Councilman, please talking about the
sign that blocks the sign.
signal box.
Oh, the signal box.
Now, when you
Well,
drive southbound,
We're
if you're at a certain
We're working on
position,
that.
it blocks the sign.
Yeah, we're working on that.
Oh,
I
the
contacted-
cannon does too. I mean,
The cans can be moved according to Anthony.
they what?
They can be moved according to Anthony.
Yes.
You know, it's like the 4-way test. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Is it fair to all concerned? I think
You were in Rotary?
for years, yeah, for a long, long time. We should be doing things on the LED
Talking about
sign
the traffic.
and not doing stuff at Bush Plaza anymore. That Bush Plaza
No,
has to
that's
get
what
cleaned
we're
up.
talking
The
about.
only objection I
I
have,
heard that, but it passed
Right.
already,
the only
What?
objection I have
tonight.
is that I don't think we should have paid advertising on it.
All right, if I can, because I know this was an old business item that was.
Oh, no, I know, Pat, but I think we have to have this discussion, workshop, a committee. We have to
Right.
do this with the LED
We
sign.
brought it up last time.
Right.
Referred to the admin committee, I spoke with Russell and Kevin a little bit. I've been doing some research with other towns and how they do it, what policies they may have. I'll be drafting the document, calling an admin meeting, so we'll craft, an ordinance or a policy, for the governing body's full consideration. I expect that will come, we'll have the meeting and that'll come back for you sometime in September.
I wish I had known that prior to voting nay today then. I did not
All right,
realize that.
I was
so,
working on it and I was away on vacation.
Just to let you know ahead of time, I would be against any paid advertisement going on that LED sign. We got that sign for borough business. I understand what Councilman Van Eck is saying, it could be helpful to some of the nonprofit or 501(c)(3), whatever, nonprofit organizations. I understand that, but in other words, I don't want to see a paid advertisement for whatever, Budweiser or whatever,
What if it was for $1 million during the
No.
Super Bowl?
No,
Okay.
no. I just don't, that's not the reason why I think we needed a digital sign in town.
no, but we have to be able to see it, so
Right.
I'm waiting for the electrical box.
Well, it's not the electrical box, it's the,
Switch.
it's the control box for the red light, green light. And it's been there for years, we knew it was there, I contacted the company that does all the county work with all the traffic boxes, and we already had conversation. John has spoken to him, and we are currently in the process of creating a policy on how we're gonna move the sign about 10, 12 feet away.
That
Okay.
moves the box, not the sign.
The box.
The box,
And who would pay for it?
it's our request.
I would imagine that Borough would be responsible for that.
Right.
Is there any money left in the ordinance for the sign?
There is some.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, last thing is traffic study. So I know we did that traffic study, we talked a lot about adaptive traffic control, so just wanted to bring that. What about traffic circles? So I've been doing a lot of research looking into traffic circles and how well they work in other parts of the country and in other countries and other cities. For instance, like one town, Warwick, Rhode Island, installed all these traffic circles
are you
along one of
talking
their.
about like next to the market basket, that kind of circle?
Yeah.
I thought the state said I thought the state had them on 23 and they removed all of them because they caused so many accidents.
They did, but that was,
They're making a comeback.
But they're
On-
not-
On low volume roads, not on.
High volume.
23, but the county roads, they're trying to make a comeback.
I don't know, we have to do something about the traffic problem in this town, because it is a problem.
Well, we haven't
Yes.
gotten the traffic study back yet, but
We need to schedule some meetings.
Please.
With police on our findings in, I guess, September now. So we'll have police and schedule those meetings.
That would be
on our
interesting,
findings.
a circle.
Everybody who lives in
Can
Oakland
you imagine
deals with
a
this. It's a problem, we gotta do
circle
something about it.
At Yorkville because of the railroad. I told you what we have to do with the railroad.
So,
We have to do what Ridgewood did, either you lift it up or you put it underground.
so an interesting component of our traffic study, we're using state-of-the-art technology. We're basically going to be tapping into the modules inside of vehicles that basically go up to the satellite to determine the movement of vehicles in the Oakland downtown.
wow.
We are not gonna be using, air, the things in the street or manual counts. This is state-of-the-art technology, and it's through a British firm. And we don't know of any other place in the United States that's gonna utilize this technology. So this is,
And you're doing that, at your expense? That's so nice of you.
yes. Well, as
You
part of
heard
our
that.
proposal, yes. It's
Councilman Van Dyke.
included in our proposal.
I started this 2 years ago.
Right.
Trying to
I've been
get
pushing
this-
it pretty hard, because I'm a believer in the
And
adaptive
Sarah,
traffic control. Maybe it's because
back in the 90s, we had.
I'm a young
traffic-
person, but I
in
believe
the
in that.
90s, we had the plan to redo the traffic.
Yeah, but
Eurosex's plan.
But don't forget, it's over 25, 35 years since the traffic study's been done. A lot of changes have happened.
Nothing ever happened from the Eurosec plan.
Yeah.
So
But that's
in
great,
September-
the technology.
We'll have the meetings with
Wow.
police on our findings. and
So much
it'll
for
be very
privacy.
interesting.
when they could-
So when do you think we'll have something before the council? October? November?
I prefer to, get police buy-in
Okay,
first on what we're finding and talk to them.
okay.
So,
Have you scheduled a meeting yet?
I'm talking, Rich is writing it down, so we'll be scheduling.
glad I brought it up. Thank you.
Thank you.
I
All
just
right.
have one thing, Mayor?
One more?
One more.
Oh, that's you, that's Van Eck. No more hold.
Just by exit 58, when you come off the highway, You know, where the Rampart College sign is all twisted and bent over, can we get that straightened out, or at least maybe do away with a little bit of sign pollution and add it on to
Where is-
the other
And I've
signs?
noticed it.
What's the location?
You know where the wood chip, we would put all the wood chips down at the end of that property down when you come off exit 58.
Oh, the baby, oh, what's the dance property, the boys' property?
Yeah, the Rampart, since you come off the highway, you got the Oakland sign, and there's a Rampart sign that's just like twisted up, it just looks like
You
garbage.
should probably ask Grandpa to
Why
replace
does
it.
Rampart College come and get it?
Off of 58 Mark.
Yeah,
Tell Rampart College to come get
or
it.
just have it and put it on the,
Or
move it on
fix
to
it.
the other signs.
Yeah.
Just clean it up, thank you.
Okay, now our council committee reports. We'll start this time, you're not, Susan?
Let's see, news from the library, the summer reading programs are wrapping up, and the turnout was fantastic for both the children and adult programs. The library is now planning its fall programs and events, and all will be updated with regards to the status of COVID. In regards to the AC replacement, they are experiencing delays in getting parts from manufacturers, as we've seen all throughout the United States. Call ahead if you have concerns about the temperature in the library, and the front desk will give you an update. Lastly, the library will reopen on Sundays.
Excuse me, the temperature in the building?
Yeah, it's, at certain days it's been very hot. Lastly, the library will reopen on Sundays from 1 to 5 after Labor Day. And remember, the digital library is available 24/7.
Thank you. Councilman.
Yes, on the sewer pipe lining project, the lining has commenced. Approximately a third of the mains within the system have been lined. All manholes required for access have been found. The last manhole found at 10 Geronimo is encumbered by a resident shed, and the residents cooperating with Boswell and the contractor to gain access. A resident on Kiowa has signed the access agreement. Therefore, all affected residents are now cooperating, and the project will move forward. It is moving forward. Patriots Way Bridge project, the bridge remains safe for vehicular and pedestrian traffic. It is our understanding that federal funding status has advanced from the Senate and is now being considered by the House of Representatives. Should the bill become law, the borough will reach out to Congressman Gottheimer's office for rules regarding the funding. Boswell remains on schedule with the preparation of the bid documents should the borough decide to advertise for bids in October 21 with the use of borough and state funding. The construction cost estimate currently remains at $5.49 million, which includes $360,000 for construction management. An updated estimate is being prepared by Boswell. Boswell is resolving the constructability comments regarding the utility companies before submitting bid documents to the NJDOT. Boswell is working with the NJDOT Local Aid Office on the extension of the $200,000 in state funding, which is set to expire in November. Okay, the sidewalk project. The Rampo Valley Road sidewalk project is on the street, being picked up by a couple of contractors. Is it still two, Rich? Still two? Okay, so we're looking at a bid opening date of August 26th, I believe?
That's correct.
And hopefully we'll be able to make a determination on the winning bid. Yeah, 26th. I have very little to report on the local water and sewer in town by the DPW. They're still exercising all the valves, but all the fire hydrants have been checked out and maintenance performed on those that were needed and replacement on those that were also needed. So, and everyone, I had some comments coming back in wanting to make sure that their fire hydrant was checked out, and as far as I know, as far as Anthony knows, everything has been checked out. We went through that already. I have a public service announcement from Orange Rockland, and that is, you might be getting calls claiming that they're O&R and demanding that you pay your bill or by prepaid debit card and threaten to disconnect your power immediately if you do not. Here's what you should do. Hang up the phone. That's number one. The caller is a crook trying to steal your money. Two big reasons not to believe any crook who makes that shutoff threat. They don't permit prepaid debit cards, and there is no immediate shutoff in Orange Rockland. So this is not a prank or a joke. These people are actually trying to steal money. So just when you hear somebody saying that, just hang up, because they're a fraud. PSE&G, in consideration of the weather we're going through in the next couple of days, probably to the end of the week, the extreme heat and possible thunderstorms, PSE&G is prepared to meet the demand, but they recommend that if you're not in your house, lower the air conditioning system. If you're in the house and it's daytime, close the blinds and draperies facing the sun. Don't cool unused rooms, close the vents and shut the door. Ceiling fans cool fast and cost less than air conditioning, and in hot weather you set the ceiling fan to spin quickly counterclockwise. There's a winter spin and a summer spin. In the summer spin, it's counterclockwise to push the warm air from the ceiling down below so it circulates all the cool air throughout the house. And seal all holes and cracks around doors, windows with cork or weather stripping. And that's about it. If you have any questions, you can reach out to PSE&G at 1-800-436-7734. Thank you very much.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I have to apologize to Ariel. Unfortunately, I left your report on my desk at home, but I do know that they're going to have the August 12th meeting this Thursday. My favorite one of the year. It's an ice cream social. And they will also be discussing a proposal for allowing people to rent the facility. This has become mostly requested, not mostly, but several members of the senior citizens have requested permission to do it. So we sat down with Councilman Van Neck and Richard, and Ariel did a great job, right?
One of the best presentations, most prepared reports that I have ever been given in my professional or volunteer life.
She's very thorough, so.
Unbelievable.
They'll be discussing that this Thursday, so I do apologize again. Ariel, I'll read them again at the next meeting.
What time is the social?
12 o'clock.
Lunchtime.
I plan to be there too.
Well, I have to be
The
there.
ice cream.
They twisted my arm.
Now that I know there's ice cream, that's
Councilman.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a very brief report tonight, just for Great Oak Park. The meeting was canceled this month for summer vacation. However, they want me to report that there will be 2 Eagle Scout projects taking place in Great Oak Park. Number one, with the first Eagle Scout candidate will be working to work around the great oak tree in the park, and the second one's going to be working on bike trails also down in Great Oak Park. From the Green Team, they're happy to report that the community garden is certainly flourishing. They've already donated 80 pounds of produce to the American Legion group that deals with handing out food for people that need it. So 80 pounds of produce coming out of the garden has been distributed to Oakland residents, so that's terrific news. And also they wanted me to also remind everybody about the new plastic bag collection film recycling bin, which is located down by the Danny Hughes Playground, down at the rec field. The collection bin is marked accordingly. The materials accepted for the collection drive include grocery bags, rag bags, bubble wrap, dry cleaning bags, newspaper sleeves, ice bags, plastic shipping envelopes, resealable food storage bags, cereal bags, case overwraps, I'm not sure what that is, salt bags, pallet wrap, stretch film, wood pallet bags, and produce bags. All plastics donated to the drive must be clean, dry, and free of food residue. Residents are urged to avoid bringing plastic bottles to the collection bins. Recycling of these plastic films helps keep the harmful waste out of our landfills. And if the borough reaches 500 pounds of film donation goal, the recycled product vendor Trex will in turn provide a free plastic bench to the borough. you have plastic bags, bring them down to the restroom. That's all I have, Mayor, thank you.
I have a question for the councilman.
Yes.
I know it happens every year, and it happens in all towns, as you get into the end of the season, and the foliage is growing out of control, it sometimes covers up signs. And one sign I know is like 30 to 40% covered up is the Great Oak Park sign.
I noticed that today.
Okay,
So-
I'll bring that back to the committee and let
You
them
know,
know.
it becomes a little bit
Yeah.
of a safety issue when you got some, like there's some lights in Mawa that cover up the lights as you're coming down McCarter, what is the,
Rampo Valley Road or
No.
McCarter Highway?
Not
MacArthur Boulevard.
MacArthur Boulevard, yeah. You don't see the sign until you're 10 feet, the light until you're 10 feet away from it. But the Great Oak Park sign is covered.
Mr. Coase, can we get DPW just remediate that?
No problem about it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bialy.
Thank you. Councilman?
Thank you, Mayor. The recreation report, thank you everybody at summer camp, all the staff doing a great job. All our campers are having a great time. We have an incredible team doing wonderful things over at our rec complex every day with our camp program. The sod project is done. All this rain is wonderful. Hopefully the roots are taking in and the field will be ready for the football season. The Shade Tree Commission, we have 2 openings right now, so if you're interested in joining our Shade Tree Commission, please reach out to me, vanek@oakland-nj.org. We have some minor damage recently with trees falling down due to storms, so there's an RFQ to be sent soon for several tree removals and some pruning, and then many trees were identified for Orange and Rockland to prune or remove due to some overhead wire safety issues, and I think we had a storm roll through during this meeting, so we'll see when we get out there. The Oakland Communications Commission, always doing a great job with our programming. Make sure to tune in to our PEG channel, our new high def channel on Verizon. We're working hard on developing a relationship with a streaming service, so our residents who have cut the cord would be able to receive our public access through the streaming platforms, which would be a great move to, I think, the direction of our industry standards. The next newsletter is September 1st, and we have a meeting. This commission is every other month. So again, if you're interested in joining, 6 meetings a year instead of 12. So it's every other month, and our next meeting is in September. Thank you. That's all I have to report, Mayor.
Thank you. All right, is there a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have someone from the public.
When I do this?
This is open to the public.
Okay.
This is
You've
your
already been
chance.
approved.
What?
You've been approved.
I've been approved?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did that at the beginning of the meeting.
Then I'll say thank you.
You're welcome.
Where was I approved for?
Car show.
Put your sign up for the car show.
Over Bush Plaza or
Yes.
something? Okay.
Yep.
Then I thank you for that.
Okay, buddy.
Ryan, again?
That was.
Good luck with your show.
By the way, if you want to catch up with Rotary, come on down. You've got a Tuesday.
Here, give me my card.
Anybody else? Motion to close.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Councilman Salamini is not here tonight, so I think it's Councilman Van Eck for the,
Finance?
finance.
Yes, bills to be paid. $601,582.02. So moved.
Second.
And as long as everybody's read the bills list, you can vote. Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Kamara.
Yes.
Councilman Pimentelli.
Yes.
Councilman Slisinski.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next meeting is September 1st. There will not be any more meetings in August. I'll see you on September 1st. So,
See you in
Break up the
September.
So, stay well, everybody, please stay well. Good night.
Here we are, saying goodbye at the station, summer vacation.
Pat's singing this out.
The Critter Hour.